Hey, we're back for episode number 2 with Justin St. Louis. His daughter crashes a lot of our episode today, which is great. Evelyn is bringing some comedy in there, and we talk about comedy quite a bit, things we like, why comedy writing is hard, things of that nature. Then at the end of the episode, we do something pretty fun that I noticed we've always done, but I don't know if we've ever really talked about it. We know we're about to part, and we kind of sit there trying to make jokes and trying to make each other laugh on the way out. We've never really talked about the fact that we do it, but I started to notice it because I think we always have done that. Like even in the past when someone's leaving, the goodbye just takes a long time because we're just kind of sitting around goofing, trying to get in that last joke. And we definitely did it here where for about the last 15 minutes, we're just trying to make each other laugh. And we come up with some gems, including some names for some possible podcasts. We ratchet up the wackiness. It's a good time. And here's part 2 of Justin and me shooting the shit. It's Pichcast, episode 5, part 2.
I know I do love Christmas now that I'm an adult, and I don't have to be where my parents want me to be. Because as the child of divorce, you're expected to be at all 4 grandparents' things at the same time on the same day.
That is tough.
And when you're 16 and get a license, you've got wheels now. You can do it according to them, but everybody eats at 2:00. So what the hell am I supposed to do? And it's 45 minutes between this one and that one,
Yikes.
So yeah, no, I really enjoy the holidays now that I'm an adult. We're going to get the tree next week, I think, after Thanksgiving. So
yeah, I'm thinking I might tree. I got some space down here.
So I don't know your setup. It looks spacious from what I can see.
I'm in the Zoom. I turn the basement into the like a little man cave here. There's actually a couch right here behind me is what this is.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I had gotten it when I lived in Texas and I had, 3 rooms to furnish. I'd gotten a number of things. I sold some stuff off before I moved back, but I kept some. And I have a small storage unit over there, but mostly this was all storage for a long time. And finally I was like, I need to start using this space. And I've felt a lot better as a human being since creating this space because I have somewhere to hang out where like, I don't see my other roommates that often at all. Like I pretty much just hang out down here. I sleep down here sometimes. Or I just go upstairs to sleep and use the bathroom, maybe the kitchen. But
so how many roommates do you have?
2.
Word.
Yeah. So it's not too bad because the one guy that's up on the very top floor, he has his own bathroom right up there. So I really very rarely see him. I haven't seen him in probably 3 weeks now.
What is this, a 3 level?
Well, it's 4 if you include this basement.
Get out of town.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice spot. I mean, I'm within walking distance to work. I got a parking spot out back, so I'm not on the street. And once a month, a cleaning service comes in and just kind of does the whole place up. They'll change the sheets and stuff. You leave them out. It sounds way more posh.
What?
Than it is,
Are you living in a hotel?
No, but I mean, well, I'm paying a little bit more. But I told myself when I lived in Texas that I enjoyed my living space. And I was like, if I go back to Boston, I need to go ahead and pay a little bit more than I was before so that I can like live somewhere nice and not have 4 or 5 roommates, So just having 2 other roommates and having this much space where we're all spread out, kind of feels like you live alone.
Your last place in Boston, you had water coming out through the light socket. So that's...
that wasn't even the last place. That was in New Hampshire. But yeah, there's...
Oh, right.
The last place I lived in before I moved here, I had five roommates, but one was kind of an attached apartment. But yeah, it was aggressive. There was just too many people in one space, all using the same thing. So, you get to be in your 40s and you don't really want to live frat life anymore. You kind of want your space to just detox and do whatever the hell you want and not have somebody else looking at you or making food across from you that you don't want to smell or see.
Yeah,
it's just, I don't know. It sounds normal to us now, but like I remember a 20-year-old me would just be like, who gives a fucking shit? I like hanging out with people. They're good. But like, I don't know. I think I like people, but on my time.
Yep. I want to be in charge of how much I like people. Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing for the holidays? Like what?
I'm going to my mom's and
you just
Maine.
Boston or are you going up to Maine? Yeah.
Yeah, well, sometimes I've had to work in the past on Thanksgiving. Like the Bruins will have practice or not a team. I think like couple of years ago, I had to work for, I think maybe the Flyers and the Bruins both had practice that day. So I covered it and I just stayed here. And then last year I was in Texas and we actually had a tournament on Thanksgiving. So I was there working. So this year I have it off and I have Friday off as well. So I'm actually going up to Maine, going to stay the night there with my mom, probably watch the Bills lose another football game Thursday night. And, and then, yeah, I'll come back on Friday during Black Friday, sit in some traffic, I'm sure. And then I'm probably going to go to Bridgeport now for Christmas because that seems to be where most of the family is. And my dad will travel down there. So I think that's sort of the plan.
Do some court cousins in person.
Yeah, we try. I was there last weekend. But then all of a sudden it's like we go to a comedy show and he's hosting a Friendsgiving. And then we get tickets to a Jets Bills game. And the next thing you know, there's no time.
Right. That's okay. Those are good excuses to not good reasons, not even excuses, good reasons.
We filmed some bits and some funny stuff for the show that we're going to do in the future. Like we kind of do the show as like, we have like little bits that we do along the way. So we're getting ready to do one where we use German accents. That's going to be hilarious. So,
oh no,
the Magic have 2 German brothers that are on the team. So
it seems unlikely.
It's very unlikely. Dare I say it's probably the first time in NBA history German brothers have played on the same team.
Say the first time that Germans have played basketball.
Dirk Nowitzki would be mad that you said that.
No, yep.
But the list is not deep. No,
right. Hey, can I have one of those pillows back that you stole from me, please? No, never mind. All right.
Pillow thief, artist,
pillow thief,
Spider Woman.
The worst. Just the worst. I remember one time, and this is actually one of my favorite memories, that when we were roommates, that we had Thanksgiving and we were both at the lowest of the low financially. And we shared 2 hot dogs and a can and 1 can of SpaghettiOs and meatballs. That was our Thanksgiving. There were 2 hot dogs left in the house. We each got one, and we shared a can of SpaghettiOs.
I forgot about that, but I remember it now.
Yeah, no, it was good. And it was somehow like, yeah, we deserve this.
Yeah.
Whatever the situation was, it was like, yeah, we earned this Thanksgiving.
That has happened to me a lot with holidays. And I appreciate you bringing that up because it does. There have been a lot of times in my life where it's been a holiday and I've been like not doing anything with family or sometimes nowhere near them, like literally miles away. And I will kind of sit there and realize, why is this like this? You stew in this.
Yeah.
What's happening today? You need to remember this. Don't let this happen again because it means you can't afford a flight back to see them, or you don't have enough money to get something other than what's in your cupboards already. That. I wish I didn't have to go to those extremes to learn those lessons, but it's helped. What the hell?
She's got this toy named Stick Rat, and that's the stick from Stick Rat.
You're getting probed randomly from the side.
I didn't like that at all. Where's Stick Rat? Show me Stick Rat so that people can see Stick Rat. This is the stick. But that's like her tail. Oh yeah, it screws in right there. There's Stick Rat. Hold her closer to me. There's Stick Rat. There you go.
Okay. I see what it is.
There's a hole so it can squeal.
Yeah, that's in a weird place, isn't it?
Got it. Oh yes. Hi, Fartbox. Fartbox is saying hello. I told him he could be on camera if he stayed.
Look
quiet.
at that guy. Hey,
right,
fella.
Yeah, his name is Fartbox.
Got a hole there, so it's.
I figured you'd be proud of that one.
A fart box.
Yeah.
So that takes up a lot of my time right now.
Yeah, well, I can imagine, but that's good that you have time to do that.
Yeah.
That you used to post a lot of funny things that she would say all the time on Facebook, and I remember
let me pull up one
quite heartily about that. Yeah, did you have like a Twitter account for this yet, or?
Well, Linda has a Instagram for her, but no, there's not a thing it's just like a home for quotes. But Facebook Memories does a great job of that.
It sure does.
So 1 year ago today, she took this picture of me. It's kind of hard to see, but she took that picture where I'm wearing a dinosaur head. The caption is, quote, "Dad, you can't wear that on your head. You're a fat dinosaur, not a little dinosaur." So
wow.
yeah.
It's
But
coming in hot.
she's got things like that are now part of our vernacular, like things that we say all the time that she came up with that make no sense, but to us they do. Like, what the heck in my life? Something she started to say when she was like 2 years old, just learning how to speak in sentences. What the heck in my life? And so like that's a thing that we all say now. And like we expect it to be normal. Like we don't think it's funny anymore. It's just a phrase.
Phrase.
But like other, a friend will be over or something and we'll say that and they're like, "What did you just say?" But some other gems include "How big is your neck?" and "Get under the bed, Randy." Just yeah. She calls people brosif all the time.
Well, I like that.
Yeah. She ran up to us again. This is when she was like 2 years old, just learning how to speak. She ran up to me one day in the living room and she goes, "Get under the bed, Randy," and then ran away. And like, we don't know anybody named Randy. She's never met anybody named Randy. I don't even know if she knew the name Randy.
I mean, this is why we all assume that children can see ghosts. Because
oh, you do. She has a pretend friend named Randy. And then
see, there you go. Pretend friend named Randy. I think she sees ghosts, and this is why we all assume that children can see them.
The first time we've ever heard of that. But cheese hurts my brain. I don't like cheese. Cheese hurts my brain. Just she comes up with some. There, do you hear that?
She's busting out catchphrases now like a doll. Someone pulled the string on her back.
Yeah.
She's like, "I got all these hits.
So
you got to trademark these."
So that's what we deal with here, and like, it's fun. It's fun because she's doing her own thing. We just have to put food in her mouth, and that's it.
Yeah,
All right. All right. Yeah.
You had to go into dad mode for a second.
I did. Important business here. Yeah, but it's cool. But I woke up one day this year and she was 4 and I was like, I gotta stop this racing thing, and that's because the Instagram thing, which as cool as it is that Linda does that, it's also like that was how I kept up for a couple of summers.
Right.
And like that was really depressing. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here and bring this crashing back down to earth, but like that was the whole catalyst for getting done. It was like, oh, they went apple picking today. What's that like?
Right.
So
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that I assume tugs on everyone who does anything like that to realize what they're missing out on and to have it show up in your Instagram feed. Yeah, like you say, it's a good way to keep up, but it's a better way to keep up for someone like me who has I'm not near it, you know what I mean? But like, it's got to be weird when you are like, oh, this is how I'm keeping up. Like,
yeah, like it was designed for people like you, or Linda's mom or my mom who are 600 miles away.
Sure.
Not for me who sleeps here.
Yeah. It sounded like she was about to say a swear word and you hit me right as she said it. Okay.
She whispered it in my ear like, "Get under the bed, Randy." And I'm like, no.
Tell your dad to start making shirts and to trademark your sayings so you can start selling them.
Well, we can do that with the LLC now.
Yeah. What the heck in my life? I mean, people would buy those shirts. Come on.
It's a good one. It's a classic. All right, I'm back.
Those will be good ad breaks.
Yep. Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by cheese. Cheese hurts my brain.
I do a lot of those fake ones when me and my cousin are doing stuff. If he walks away to go to the bathroom or something, I'll just grab something random and I'll just be like, "Hey, you like changing channels on your TV? Try remote controls." Just kind of go rogue.
Now with batteries. So this is one thing that I wanted to bring up on the show is I know you haven't, but are you going to? And we did kind of talk about it briefly at the beginning of the open here. Comedy. Are you doing that anymore? Because why the hell not?
Yeah, no, I haven't been like doing like stand-up comedy or anything like that. It's just stand-up comedy is a lot of work to practice all the jokes and then have all the time to go. And I work so many nights still.
Yeah.
So that's when nobody laughs in the morning, I guess, unless you're on morning radio, which I don't even know if they do that anymore. But
it's it's rare.
Comedy's meant for night, and I work a lot of nights. It's starting to become my season where I'm, dead to the world for 4 or 5 months, and I just it takes so much time. If I went into that, then I probably wouldn't be able to do the podcast. Like I don't have. Okay. I want to put like my full energy into one thing instead of half-assing 6 or 7 things. So
that's fair.
Trying to go all in on the podcasts, and the Court Cousins is kind of easier for me because Kyle does most of the editing on that one. So it leaves me time to edit mine. And now that I'm doing them every other week, I have one podcast that comes out every week, but I don't edit one of them, so I stagger it, and I have time to put stuff together. Because the way I edit this show is I basically go back, watch the entire thing over again, and then I'll put pictures of what we're talking about, or comments, or funny stuff that I remember.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So it's like it takes some time to go back over and do, and I didn't want to rush through it. But that's about as comedy as I think I'm gonna get for now. Maybe down the road it would be something I would pursue, but I'm like done trying in Boston with pretty much everything. if I may. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say I won't try at certain things. I'm obviously going to still work and give 110% there, but like, well, maybe just 100%. Maybe I'll back off the 10%, but I don't want to invest a lot of stuff long-term into being here, because I feel like a year from now I won't be here. So, if I started doing comedy around here and started to meet people, it might make me want to like stay just for the comedy. And I don't ultimately want to be here. So maybe when I get to somewhere new, if I was in a different place in my life, I might look for that. But right now with the amount of time, like I have a couple therapists that I see, and work and the 2 podcasts and just time to chill is kind of like all I've really got time for. I have no idea how people do it with like kids and 2 jobs, and like I'm always wondering how. I was always blown away by student athletes, how they could have all that time spent in practice and with the sport, and then be getting grades good enough to keep playing, and then try having a life afterwards or a job. And it's like, how do you even juggle all that stuff? I guess I was never really taught to juggle that well. I've done it before, but I don't aim to do it. Like, it doesn't, I don't need to be that busy all the time anymore. I definitely don't have the energy for it like I did in my 20s.
The last couple of years, I mean, I've always loved comedy, and that. We share a lot of the same humor, and we always have. But like the last couple, maybe 3 years, I have really done some deep dives into some stand-up stuff, and I don't think that I could ever pull it off. And it's mostly because I can't remember jokes.
That was the hardest part for me.
Yeah, like I used to be in a band, and I couldn't do a show without having the lyrics in front of me, like David Bowie. Like I always had to have a stand with the lyrics. I could never remember them, and I know that I could never do 5 minutes even.
Right,
I would forget. I have thought of some great bits.
Right,
and like I could probably be a writer. I think.
Right.
And I feel like you could do the same,
and
be very successful at it. But Jesus, it takes a lot of time, and somebody's already done the joke that you're writing, because there are no original thoughts or ideas anymore.
Pretty much.
But I've thought about, and I had this thought when you asked me to do the show. I just thought of a couple of things, just thinking about us over the years, and like one thing came about you was your bit about the paint. That bit was a solid bit, but I started to think about the construct of that joke and how it tied in at the end, and that it probably took you 3 weeks to write that joke.
I that joke evolved over time by doing little shows, and that was back when I took the classes with Vermont Comedy Club, and they kind of taught you how to write jokes, and then you'd go perform them, and then you'd realize, oh, there's a little more meat on this bone, or I can say this and I can get a little bit more out of it. Like the whole reason I included grays in that was so I could have that throwaway joke of the here's 7 shades of gray that are far less sexy than the 50 you've seen in the movie, or
you gotta,
something to that effect. I don't remember.
You have to have a hook. Yeah, sure.
But like, it's all about coming back to, the Rapture not being blue and being more like the color of bossa nova or whatever. But yeah, it takes a long time to get those things together. I had a joke. Whoa, look out. I had a joke about Winnie the Pooh characters that
nice cock, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. He's little. That's why he's there.
Yeah, never mind.
He fits easily into all kinds of spaces. Tell your friends.
Hey, that joke took no minutes to make.
Sometimes those are best, but I've agonized over a Winnie the Pooh joke that I've had for a long time, and I told it in a number of different ways, and I actually told it in classes where like Nathan was like, wait, try doing this, but then at one point he was like, I really love the way you're doing this. It just never really had an end. You know what I mean? It was funny all the way throughout, but then it didn't really have that payoff at the end. And that's
Do you know the bit?
Yeah, it's basically just about how like it's another one of those meeting ones, which is why I didn't tell it at the same time, because the paint one is sort of like they're having a meeting
premise.
It's the same premise, but I made it a phone call, so that way you're only getting one side of it. So it was kind of Bob Newhardy, where it was basically like I'm just on a phone call and I'm like, all right, we love A.A. Milne, we love the book, we love it, we just think the characters need names so that we can like do some branding. We just think it might be better that way. So I'm just going to give you the list of all the characters, and then you just tell me what way you want to call them, and then we'll just go with it. And then I just kind of go through all the characters, because all the characters are like Piglet, he's a piglet. The tiger, he's Tigger. It's like the owl is owl, like kangaroo, it's Kanga and Roo. Like there wasn't a lot of thought.
Rabbit.
But and then you get to Christopher Robin, and the boy has the name of an animal. And it's like, what the hell?
Right.
And then the bear is named Pooh. and so it was like there was always this weird trying to figure out, like, I think at one point he was referring, like, trying to get him to name the bear, and he's taking a shit, so then he just ends up calling him Pooh. There was a whole, that joke went all over the place, but never actually, I don't even think I ever told it on stage, because it never had a hook. It never really was fully together. It's a thought, but it never really made it to where it needed to be.
So that's like the thing that I really love about comedy, is how much effort it takes for 2 minutes of work. Like I really, I actually, thinking about that, that's the same thing. It's the same kind of effort that I put into my racing stuff. Like I will spend 6 hours on a graphic that only I will know what's in that graphic. Like nobody else is going to notice these details except me.
Right.
But to be able to craft that and to care for it that much, it takes a lot of time, and most of the people aren't going to get your joke anyway. Every joke, there's going to be people that are just sitting there with their mouths open, like, what are you talking like that? I don't get it.
I love those, by the way.
Absolutely. I would rather bomb than kill. I would rather go out there with jokes that I love and get no laughs than get, than murder,
I don't know if I would agree with that sentiment. On stage, it's odd if you're telling a bunch of jokes and no one's laughing. It gets weird.
Yeah.
But
well, it's uncomfortable.
I think in real life, if I'm
better.
Out there, maybe, I don't know. I for some things, maybe if I was on stage, I don't think I'd want that. But like in public, if I'm just like talking with the kids at work and I say something that I know they're not going to get, and there's like 20 of them there, but one person laughs, I'm more excited about that one laugh.
All right. Okay. Give me that.
That's
you're right. Exactly. Because you've gotten through.
Right.
Yeah. No. So that's what I meant. And
then I tell the other ones to Google it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then but that one person that's going to come up to you at the end of the show and be like, that was fucking gold.
Right. Like, oh, that joke you had about Bob Newhart, man. I used to love that show. It's like,
so I'm a huge Norm fan. Norm Macdonald is my guy. And like the greatest set of all time was his roast of Bob Saget. Oh my God. Have you seen it?
I'm sure I have because I've watched.
So he just
all
goes
the
out there
roasts.
with like dad jokes and like,
Yeah.
you know, the only time it was something like, you know, I'm not saying that Bob's not smart, but the only time there's anything on his mind is when he's got a hat on.
It's so good. It's so simple. It's so good.
And like the audience is crickets, but everybody on the dais is losing their minds. Like all the comedians
Right.
they're
Right.
dying, you know,
Yeah.
and it's stuff like that.
Well, I think especially at a roast too, you expect to hear the dirtiest, nastiest stuff at a roast, and then he just kind of pulls up almost working clean, and it like bumps you. It's almost like, what? Like that's a lot of what Norm was. Is sort of like his comedy was like different than everything else, and he doesn't care if you like it or not. He loves it.
He loves it,
and that's why it was easy to like, because you know he loves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, it's so good. But I also love, and this is controversial, but I'm a big Louis C.K. fan.
Oh,
love Louis C.K.
Just because you look similar, or
yeah, he may be my father. You know, and do I agree with everything that he did, you know, outside of comedy? No, but you know, I'm not endorsing that, but his comedy is so good because he's not only is he doing a bit, he's acting through it. Mm-hmm. Like he spits and sputters as if like he's just trying to get through the joke, but like that's all planned. Yeah. You know, like the
delivery is a big part of it.
The delivery is so huge. And, you know, a guy like George Carlin didn't write. He just didn't write. He just went out there and just talked.
Right.
You know, and like he was spitting and sputtering sometimes because that's, you know, he was making it up.
Right.
Louis, you get the same sense of frustration, but that's all part of it.
Right.
You know, it's a character almost.
I mean, it shouldn't be controversial to say you like somebody's comedy, because that's completely different from like what they do.
No,
like,
you separate the art from the artist. I get it.
Yeah, you have to. I think. I think. I mean, I don't really know everything that he did. I heard he masturbated into a plant. I mean,
in front of two girls. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look. Haven't we all done that? I mean, I guess as long as you're
doing it right now.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. How do you get your plants to grow?
Yeah.
You put shit on them to grow? Come
Giving
on.
them
what about
seeds? Isn't that what plants want?
Come on.
Right.
This makes sense.
Right.
No, the show in no way endorses what Louis C.K. did or didn't do. I don't know.
Okay, so music, like Queens of the Stone Age, great band. Josh Homme, asshole. Like abusive to his kids, not a good dude, but the fucking man can write a song. So
sure,
you know, sure. I'm cool with that.
And that's why, like, you know, everybody used to give Michael Jackson a lot of slack for what he did, because they'd be like, man, he can move, or he's the king of pop. And it's like, yeah, he might be diddling boys at like his own amusement park that he has at his house. And people are like, yeah, but come on. And it's like, hey,
did you hear Thriller?
Yeah. You can't just give him a pass because he did that. Like R. Kelly didn't get a pass. Ignition is a hot jam, and I love that song. I don't care what he did. It's still a good song.
Nope. Yeah.
But we can't play it anymore. It's pretty much not anywhere. And it just is what it is, because like the man went too far. Imagine if like Hitler had made some hot jams, like maybe everybody would look at him differently. Like maybe it's like, man, Hitler had some big ideas, but man, he could move. He was something.
I'm pretty sure he was on Now That's What I Call Music 58, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think he wrote that song Blue.
It's a Mein Kampf summer. Yeah. Like that was the hot jam in 1943, right? Yeah.
No, but it is weird how sometimes people will make, and you do it in sports a lot too, where it's like you get a guy in your team, like people do it around here for Brad Marchand. He's a complete dick. He's a weird guy. He licks people. He's strange. He shouldn't be any kid's role model. But because he's on the Bruins, everybody's like, no, we love him. He's a good guy. And it's like, all right, yeah, you do what you got to do. But conversely, you know, we have Brendan Gallagher on the Canadians. He's a weird guy too. He's chippy. He takes some shots at some guys. And it's just, you just make an exception because you're like, he wears our colors.
You scoring goals or no? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You producing? Because if you are, we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Vick killed dogs and came back to the NFL and had fans.
Big star.
What can't you do?
Who's the guy that killed somebody? There was a nightclub shooting or whatever.
Yeah, he shot himself.
Oh,
I think you're thinking of that wideout from the Giants.
I don't know.
He had a gun on him, and I think he shot himself. Plaxico Burress, I believe it was.
Okay, Plaxico Burress. Thank you.
So that was self-harm.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of dumb stuff. There was one guy that plotted to kill his pregnant girlfriend, and he never came back to the league. That was a bridge too far.
Yeah.
He mostly because I think he went to jail. If he had not gone to jail, maybe the NFL would have been like, come on in. It's like the NFL doesn't want to be involved in politics or other stuff, but it just is sometimes, because it like doesn't, Ray Rice punches a woman in an elevator and a couple weeks later they're like, yeah, you're going to get back on the field there. Or, I mean, you're good, so right? You're not hurt.
You weren't hurt. You weren't at practice. Like
your hand's not hurt, right? Like you're good. Okay.
You didn't hit her that hard, right? Like,
but
I don't know. I mean, as one of my best friends, I'm glad that you're the fuck out of Texas, because let's wipe that place out of existence. Like,
oh, I don't know. I liked it down there. I mean,
yeah, the town of Austin is fine, I'm sure. The rest of it,
yeah. I lived right on the border of the Democrat-Republican battle. It was very strange to meet people from both sides. But I don't know. I feel like there's parts of that in my life, like in Vermont. I feel like Vermont. Sure. I feel like Vermont is one of those states. I don't remember who said it recently, but like it's a state where like rednecks and where the right and the left have been living together in harmony for however many years Vermont's been a state, since 1791. Like,
would we call it harmony though?
Well, I don't know. They're there. They're doing it. There's no civil war. Like, I mean, I guess
racist little state, man.
It is in certain areas, but then like if you get into Burlington, you're kind of good, and like Rutland is pretty rural. I'm guessing you're closer to that region, but like it seems like by the cities is where, as it is in most states, the cities is where the left people are, and then the right is all the other ones. But it's been that way for a long time. Like you can be in the city of Burlington and feel like you're totally in the hippest leftist place of all time. Drive 15, 20 miles in pretty much any direction except for towards the lake, and even that could be argued as pretty left because it's on the left anyway.
Geographically.
But once you drive out like 15, 20 minutes, you can not know where you are. You see no lights anywhere. It is desolate, and like you will run into people who are just chewing tobacco and driving. Man,
I grew up in Bolton. You're not telling me anything.
Yeah. I know. So it's weird to think. Some people think of Vermont as only being IPAs and the hipsters and that stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's not most of the state. It might be more in people because there's so many people in the city, but like in region wise, it's not really like that. So I mean, I don't know, I feel like I was kind of used to that, and it didn't bother me, that aspect of Texas, that there was people who thought differently. If anything, I'm cool with that. Like I'm down with, what do you think? All right, what do you think? All right, I'm gonna be here in the middle. Like I'm gonna take a little of what you got, because you're way off on that. You're way off on that. I'm gonna just hang in the middle. So
yeah, and the older I get, the more I'm like that too. And I've always fancied myself a liberal, but I've been shaking my head a lot the last few years. Like, is this what we want to be doing? And I'm not by any means a conservative. Or whatever the definition of that is now.
Well, Karens used to be conservative, and now Karens are liberal. So Karens,
right. Like I don't know. Exactly what you said. Just I'm kind of in the middle of the road there, where like I'm going to listen to both sides, and I'm going to tell you you're an idiot, and that's pretty much it. And I'm going to vote however I'm going to vote, and I'm going to feel bad about it no matter who I vote for, because everything sucks right now. Like the place where I draw the line is, I don't want to talk about politics, but human rights and when people are upset that gay people love gay people. Like,
I know it does. I don't get it.
What the fuck? What do you care? And like this dude's black, so he deserves to die. Like, come on. I mean, no, that's like, what are we talking about?
I can't even believe there are people that think that. Like, it's that absurd.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
I know.
There's a lot of them. And like, listen, being in the industry that I've been in, mister.
Yeah. Not a left leaning group.
not a left-leaning group. And there's beautiful people in that, and there's far more good people than bad, far more. But Jesus, oh man, I've kept my mouth shut because it's not worth the conversation most of the time.
I totally understand. I mean, I ran into a lot of that, so I choose life.
When we go home to Ohio for Christmas, Linda's parents own a restaurant. It's like the only restaurant and / bar anywhere in 15 miles, and it's a great place. But there's the regulars, and you walk in and you're right there at the bar, and they turn around and it's like Cheers kind of thing.
Yep.
And I walk in and they're like, "Oh, the liberals here," like that's what they say. The liberals here. Oh, the Bernie fan is here. And it's like, man,
wow.
Yeah. Like that's being from Vermont. That's stapled on me. Like what you were talking about. Like no matter what I believe, that's
right.
What that is, because that section of Ohio, and I don't know about the rest of the state, but at least in that area, they're very much the opposite. They're the the Fox News crowd, and that's fine. That's what they want to do. I don't care.
Right.
But because I'm from here, they all assume that I'm as Barack Obama said, the dope smoking hippie.
Right. I know. Yeah. I hate getting labeled as that too, because I'm not.
Right. Yeah. So, I am very much somewhere in the middle.
But then if I tell people like, oh, I don't like Bernie Sanders at all, then they're like, oh, I didn't know you're Republican. It's like,
oh, you're a Trump guy then.
I didn't see that either.
No.
Like, whoa. So like everybody wants to label you and put you in a box. And it's like, I mean, let me label myself. I mean, that's part of the reason I have this podcast. I can write whatever I want underneath myself right now, and I'll probably write something funny. I'll write something good for you too.
All right. I'm here for the malarkey.
That's how you label left and right.
Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah. We're called the center. We're taking over.
We'll start the malarkey party.
That's right. We are here for the malarkey. Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, a guy started a party that was the rent is too damn high. That happened. Whoa. That was a real thing.
So do you remember, I don't remember which election it was, but Vermin Supreme was running for president. He's a guy from New Hampshire. He is this dirty old man, and he had this boot on his head. Like that was his. Yeah. He had this really tall mud boot on his head, and like that was his platform. He had nothing to say other than his name is Vermin Supreme, and he wore a boot on his head, and the guy got votes.
He was a top 3 candidate.
He got votes. He was on the ballot. So we can do this.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, the hard part is really finding somebody that like once other people realize that you have some juice and they start paying you off to shut up or threatening to kill your family. Like, I don't know if I want to go through that.
Right.
And that would happen. At some point they start digging through your Google search history and they're like, what were you looking at this day? And it's like, hey, you mind your business. What me and OnlyFans do, that's my business.
Don't worry about my Google search.
Right. Like I would like to have a president that felt comfortable like Googling whatever the fuck he wanted to. Go ahead, learn, check stuff out. I don't know. Yeah. Like, what's the harm?
Right. Yeah, that's good. Still one of the greatest things you've ever done is get onto the Habs socials.
It is
at that arena.
What a day. What a day. I still have a puck from practice that I labeled, and I drove the machine like this close to Carey Price while he was warming up, and I just drove by him. Like that was an epic day. Like that's the way everybody else must feel. Your shirt?
You should have. You should have just opened that lapel and been like, yo.
I was wearing my Expos hat at the time. I think this one. I think I had my red Expos hat on. So it was pretty known that I was in favor of them being there. And then I had the coat underneath because I thought that guy was just taking a quick picture, and I didn't realize he was actually taking video. And I looked like goddamn Clark Kent getting ready to bust out and be like, I'm out of here. You Canadians. It was pretty great. Yeah. And I was a little nervous at first when I went into the office. I think this was still like in the first year or two that I was there. And I was a little nervous at first that they were going to like be mad about it, but they were really chill about it. They were like, they thought it was cool. They're like,
I would feel like they would love it. Yeah.
Because they're like, well, no, none of our regular fans are going to see this anyway, because it's on the Canadian spot. So, and then I had so many people reached out to me on Twitter. Like I met so many fans from that moment that like
Yeah.
I've stayed friends with on Twitter. So like all last year during the playoffs, when I'm around no Canadians fans, like I'm interacting with a lot of these people that I met from that time
Yeah, that's awesome.
on there. And they were just like, oh, you're going to get fired now, but we'll get the Canadians to hire you and you come up here. And I'm like, yeah, do that. Let's go. I'm for that. Let's have it. Awesome. Well, I don't care.
Okay. McCrockets for all these people.
Yep.
So it's safe to say you're not coming back here, though.
I couldn't
Even
see
though-
myself ever moving back to Vermont. I mean,
know.
I can try to build a scenario, but it's a long ways away because it involves a wife, some kids, and enough money to buy places in Vermont. Vermont's too expensive for what it is. It's
Fucking tell me about it.
sometimes you just want to like bring Vermont up to a mirror, show it itself, and be like, this is what it costs to live in you. Have you seen you? I don't think you have, because it's not that. I mean, it's okay here, but
Like
damn.
I can stand on my back deck and like New York's mountains are way better than ours. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't
What do you
charge
think
me
you
for
are?
this. I can look over there for free.
Yeah.
And like, that's better.
I mean, the cost of living in the Burlington area, and I know it's a little bit better once you start getting out of the city areas in Vermont. It has become a
But
little
it's
more
really-
affordable.
It's really not.
But it should be more expensive to live in Boston. Obviously, New York is the most expensive, and we're not even including this in the conversation. But it's pretty similar to the cost of living in Boston, and it is in like downtown Burlington, and that's
Yeah.
ludicrous to me because those are not the same things. As much as I dislike Boston, I would rather live in Boston where there's shit going on than downtown Boston. So downtown Burlington. So I don't really understand how they're even setting the prices that high and getting people to pay it. I think because people come from these bigger towns and they're like, let's go to a small quaint town. Let's go to Burlington. Yay. And it's like, yeah, but some of us are from here, man. Like this is our
Yeah.
life.
So
I don't know.
you probably, I don't know. I doubt that you know, but Johnny Wanzer, have you ever heard of him? He's from, yes. How can I help you? Yes. You have to hide. Go hide. Go hide. Go hide in the living room immediately.
This is the best
Quick.
game of hide and seek
I
ever.
did.
Yeah.
I did under a blanket, but I want to hide in here.
Okay. Hide in here, but do it quietly.
Mm.
Yes. Right in that clear container. Um,
Cover me.
I'll cover you. She's in a tote.
I figured that out. I was like, she's gonna get a clear plastic tote to hide right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, she is.
Awesome.
I'll cover you up. But Johnny Wanzer is a guy who posts these videos, and he's from Burlington, and he talks about how expensive it is to live in Burlington and how all these people, there's only a few landlords, and they're all slums. I mean, listen, the apartments in Burlington suck. Like even the new buildings are shit, and like he destroys them, and it's good. It exposes a lot of stuff, and it's all real.
I wrote
it's
the
good.
name down. I'm gonna check it out. Is it Johnny? That's what I
Jonny, and then the last name is Wanzer, Wanzer.
All right, I'll check it out. That sounds fun. Fun in a bad way.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. You'll like it. Even if you don't know what he's talking about, it's good.
Right.
So that's where she's hiding, right there, that U-Haul box.
It's good to see that kids are still playing with boxes. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want that to ever go out of style. Like,
Yeah, we moved in here like a year and a half ago, and we couldn't get rid of the boxes because of rent here.
I know, man. I love the boxes too, man. They were spaceships. You build forts out of them. They were a car, a plane.
We've got 2 race cars. We've got a box with like this creepy face cut into it.
Mm.
This one's got a basketball in it. This one's got a child in it.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Remember when we had that box? We used it as a table for a while, and everybody drew nasty things in it.
you shipped something.
I did.
An eBay purchase. The eBay purchase was that box ended up like across the country somewhere,
It did.
and it had filthy things on it.
I taped over a lot of the like filthiest stuff, but I left a lot uncovered. And that was probably one of the most fun eBay deliveries someone ever got.
There was things about Michael Jackson on there.
Probably.
Yeah, there
It was a collective effort. It was not one person's art. It was kind of whoever
Yeah.
was bored and had the markers there and just doodled on it.
Fantastic times at the Weave.
I think that might have been at Jay's house. I don't know where that was.
No, that was at the Weave. It was at the Weave for
Okay.
sure, because it happened the night that I don't want to say the name because I don't know how he is, and I hope he's well, but that one of our friends had an incident.
Yes, gotcha. Okay. Yep. Everything red is wrong.
We were I had just left and like you called me, but I remember we were drawing on that box that night.
Okay.
And you called me and you're like, I'm in my room. Like, dude, I'm in trouble. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was just there. He's like, no, it's going down. Things are bad.
That would be an epic story. He's actually doing well enough, but yeah, that was an interesting tale on a Mother's Day morning where SWAT was called to surround the perimeter, taking all of our neighbors out of their home.
SWAT
and
team. When Winooski is evacuated, it's an issue.
Those guys were stoked. It was the first time they'd had action in years. They're like, this is what we trained for, people. Let's go. This is the real deal. And it's like, it's just my friend up there and he's really drunk and I think it's going to be fine. I mean, he does own a hunting rifle. All right, there's a weapon. It's like, all right, calm down. Get everyone out of their houses. Get them on the phone.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad that he's doing well. Genuinely, I am, because he's a good dude, as I know him. But damn, what a crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes my craziest stories that don't even really involve me. Like I was just there and it was somebody else. It's really somebody else's story to tell in a way. Like, but that's what was fun about, as much as I wouldn't want to live back in Vermont again, obviously I'm a fan of Vermont. I'm glad I was from there. Obviously I still rep it. And I liked growing up there because it felt like simple. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't hustle bustle of a big city. It just kind of was what it was. And I like that about it.
And that's why I stay here. I love it. I've had opportunities to go somewhere else and I've been somewhere else.
Yep.
And I came back. It's for me. Oh no. My wife is now
my
daughter.
What a great
for your entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, she was in the box the whole time.
Oh man, she just ran, clotheslined her. It was great. Linda has a special skill of catching Evelyn when she's on the run. And a couple of times she has, unintentionally, but very effectively clotheslined her and taken her the fuck out. It's been amazing. I fall in love a little bit more every time it happens. I mean, you guys from the top rope, just tackle.
You guys just had your 5-year anniversary as a field.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
I was like, holy shit, man.
3 days ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, I was like, Friday, wow. But it didn't seem like it was that long ago. But then after I thought about it for a second, I was like, yeah, 5 years. Yeah.
You were hot dogman that night.
Yes, the wedding wiener, hot dog.
Yep. It's a good wedding. It was a good wedding. Like,
it was a great wedding. Yeah.
I'm explicitly biased because it was mine, but I feel like it went pretty well.
It was strong. I remember having a great time. I think it was good. We had a lot of people there. I just can't help but realize that I made some mistakes as a single man at your wedding. That every once in a while you have those moments where you're like, oh, I messed that up, and you're like, you're never gonna get that moment back. And there were some moments there for like that for me, but it's not. I don't lose sleep over it. Yeah,
there were a couple of ships that night that were pulling up to your dock, and the harbor was closed, and they've now gone out to sea and landed in other provinces.
I didn't properly offer anyone.
But you were trying to drop anchor in uncharted waters, my friend.
Sometimes you get these opportunities to play God. And I thought, this is an opportunity for me. I'm a simple, kid from Winooski, Vermont. And here's my chance to do something big, something that'll be talked about for all of time.
They'll remember me.
Yeah, they'll remember me. I thought, great. In Vermont, particularly, I could rise to being a B-level celebrity if this goes down.
Wow.
And I don't regret that. I don't regret aiming high because, why not?
Yeah, sure. It certainly would have. I mean, listen, would have been amazing,
Yeah.
But
everybody's like, what are they talking about?
An unattainable prize.
Yes, an unattainable prize. A seemingly unattainable prize.
No. For sure unattainable.
Well, it seemed possible at the time.
She's gay, man.
I know, but other people seem to think it too. I was not alone. So I think there was a chance. There was a moment. Something might have been spoiled.
I mean, she did touch your junk, but it was with a closed fist.
Don't recall that, but probably.
I recall it.
Been.
And in fact, the DJ watched it happen and was in the middle of announcing a new song. And like, and he goes, "Oh," because she did a Pete Townsend from the Who when he's playing the guitar, like wound up like a softball pitcher, and just right in the gonies.
I think she stopped short because it wasn't impactful.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus. Then you played.
I may have sold it, but yeah, I don't remember actually being in any kind of pain. Yeah.
I don't know.
You got to sell at this point. You got to sell nut shots. Like just sell them. Like, I mean, you've been hitting the nuts more than
I've never had to sell them because it's genuine.
Okay. Well, sometimes it gets the side of my leg and I just sell it like I got hit because like it's better for the comedy. I don't know.
I've been the target, as you know.
You took the worst towel whip to the balls I've ever seen in my life. It was one of those epic spin jobs on a wet towel and just got that perfect crack. And just right. You could see it hit the bottom of your sack and just kind of like, bleh, and it was like when like it was hard to see, let alone imagining how that must have felt. That was bad.
So I know now how Oswald felt that day in Texas when Jack Ruby came up and shot him. Like, one of the like, because there was a couple of ladies walking down through the park. We were leaving the beach and they were coming down, and I was like, "Afternoon," and it's just. I didn't even like have time to react. I just down face to the pavement. It was unreal. Like I was made of antimatter. I fell so fast, like just to the pavement.
We could talk
my
about
soul
this
left
for 20
my
minutes. This is all believable. I saw it. I was there. I know it. We're not doing it justice, no matter how much we talk about it, because it was that good. Like, I don't know if that person's ever whipped a towel again, but they probably shouldn't have, because it's not going to get any better.
You're not going to get better. No.
It just peaked and it's over.
Yeah, that's it. Big respect, really. You know, I didn't appreciate it at the time, but I think I did, even though I was just like, oh.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Hey,
you gotta tip your hat, man.
You know, I don't like it, but I'm a big fan of your work, really.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the idea of us doing a podcast at some point about things and stuff?
Oh. Listen, we've both got LLCs. The sky is the limit, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was gonna mention it at some point. I just figure maybe, maybe it's not even a weekly thing.
Let's workshop some titles right now. How about Stain and the Big Man?
That's a good start. The Big Man and the Stain. That's all sounds funny.
Wow. You've got
Malarkey Nation.
Well, no, that'll be a hashtag. That'll be the hashtag.
That'll be the hashtag.
Malarkey Nation. I was Mitch Fantastic. What was your you were Magic Man Mike McFarlane.
You were
I was also Dave Branson.
And you were Rick Dickulus.
I think that was you.
Was I Rick Dickulus?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
You were Lockheed Martin?
Al was Lockheed Martin.
Al was Lockheed Martin. Okay.
Yeah.
We had a short-lived radio show called The Radio Show.
The Radio Show, yeah.
The Radio Show. Where we tried to be Rick Dickulus and Mitch Fantastic, but we kept calling each other by
that ended after one episode.
Yeah.
Like and that so bit.
Yeah. And then we were just like, screw it. We have to be ourselves, because this.
Yeah.
Listening back to that tape of that show.
You got it on tape?
Oh, we no, I don't know if I still have it. I don't know who has it, but we did tape the show. I remember we went back and we listened to it afterwards.
You're right.
It was so bad. Like I just remember like hating it so much. I was like, wow, we need to change everything. And it was like
Yeah.
you, me, and Eddie. Like whenever we get in a room, there's laughs galore. We're crying. It's a fantastic time. And yet, for some reason, on the radio, we couldn't pull it together.
Well, because you feel like you have to be on, and that
Yeah.
changes the way that you approach it. Like when you're just dudes sitting around the apartment,
Yeah,
it's natural. That's fine.
True. It's true. It
But
is
when
a
you're
little
trying for an audience, then you
Yeah.
suck. I get it.
I think that's what, like, some people I've asked to do this podcast, they're sort of like feeling that same way. Like, and I'm just like, yeah, it's just going to be you and I having a conversation. I know we don't normally do it on Zoom, but it can just be us having a conversation. And if we say something you're not comfortable with, I'll just cut it out. Like, just say, we shouldn't, we'll just. But like, people are nervous because it's not the same, and it's like, yeah, you're right. I'm not going to get the same energy out of. I'm not going to name names, but I know there are certain people I'm not going to get the same energy out of on Zoom that I would unless we were in the same room.
So we've had so many guys on our show that say, I'm not doing it on the computer. Like, if you want to come down, I'll buy the beer. It's like, but I'm not doing it on the computer. It's just, it feels like an interview. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that's fine. Because we approach it, sort of from the same perspective as you do. Like, we have notes, but it's also, we start with a question and then we just shoot the shit after that.
Yeah. Right.
And if we have to get back on topic, then I can point us in that direction. Say, in 1989, you did this,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like, normally when I would have at least a little sheet with I didn't bother with you. I didn't know we weren't going to
what's
need
the
it.
point?
But like when I talked to Chantel, I had like a little list with like, 9 things on it, because I haven't talked to her in, 13 years or whatever it was. So I was like, I should write a few things down that I want to make sure to remember to say. But it's just, you just want it to be this loose, free form conversation where you're saying fun stuff, and that's the kind of stuff that's going to resonate. No one, like, most people I've heard before, I'm sure you have too, that they like being in the same room with us. We're funny. It's always a good time. So like, now we have the opportunity to virtually do this and then virtually do it in other people's living rooms. So
absolutely
enjoy. Have a taste of the big man and the Stain.
Hey, Stain coming at you. We got the big man over here.
Hey, big man. Maybe I have to be deeper voice. Hey, big man's over here. What's up? I gotta do my Shaq. I gotta do my Shaq impersonation. Yeah, right now we got a big sale going on at Papa John's. You gotta get that Shaq-a-roni. Oh, we just lost Papa John as a sponsor.
Say big man, because if I'm Stan, I gotta talk like that.
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, what's up, Stan?
My skin got darker in that one.
Wow. Yeah. Fuck it, I'll be the big man. I don't care. Theo Vaughn's a good guy. Have you taken part in any? Yeah. So like the way that he approaches his show.
Yep.
Like he has questions in his brain, never gets to them.
Right.
Like does not ever ask them.
That's happened to me sometimes too. I'm sure.
Which is great.
After we get done talking, I'm gonna be like, oh, I forgot to say this or I forgot to say that. And it's like, whatever.
Yeah. We're actually recording our show tonight for this coming week.
Nice.
After Evelyn goes to bed, which is in an hour or so. So I probably ought to go soon. But it's a guy that we know nothing about. I have no notes prepared. We're just gonna ask him questions.
Yep. And
let him tell the stuff, because he's not a stock car racer that we would talk to and know everything about. He's from a different discipline of motorsports, and I'm really excited to just learn. Like we're gonna shoot the shit and we're just gonna talk, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be better than some ones you prepare for.
Absolutely. And nobody's gonna listen. That's the thing. That's the thing that pisses me off so much. It's like we've got a great listenership. We've got many episodes with 1,000 or more streams, which is amazing. That's great. Nothing we ever thought would happen. But like the really important ones, or the ones that like are something different, this is like 200 listens. Like,
it's weird sometimes what people choose to partake in and don't. And I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I follow a certain number of podcasts, and it's weird to think like what people digest and what they don't. Like if I listen to a podcast, I'm listening to every episode, which is why I don't have a lot of time for a lot of them, because I listen to one that's every day. It's every, and I have no idea how they fucking do that, but imagine 5 days a week.
They've got writers. That's how.
Or writers, and they have guests.
And tech people and editors, and they don't have to do the work.
Right.
They just show up and talk.
I know. I can't wait until our LLC gets big enough that somebody else can edit this shit. It's like I already saw this. I was a part of it. I don't need to go back and watch it, cut it up.
Right.
Just take my ideas and make them funny, guy.
That's right. Dance for me, clown.
All right. Well, I asked you to dance long enough for me today here, clown.
Oh, it's good though.
Yeah, it's good to catch up. Let's do it again soon.
Shit, we went 2 hours. Wow.
Well, it was a bonus episode. Give
Good.
thanks.
All right.
Well, I mean, I'll probably cut some stuff out, and there was a couple times where your screen froze.
Yeah, whatever.
There's a lot to digest here, so I'll work on this week and get it up as soon as I can.
Remember that time I teabagged a garbage can?
I do. That's one of my favorite photos of you because you won a major award.
My celebration of the Peach Award.
Yes. I don't know what that one was for.
What was that award for?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Some outstanding achievement that you did it.
Yeah, and that was my first thing that came to mind. You're like, oh, we got to take a picture of you with the award, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna just teabag this garbage can. You're like, yeah, do that. And so
and you squatted over the garbage can, holding it, and it's like,
I mean, my balls weren't out. I had jeans on, but like,
yes, oh yeah. Well, it's yeah.
Make that clear, but which
Sometimes
somehow
I
makes
forget.
it even stranger. Like,
Little.
it would have been better if I was naked, right?
I mean,
In a really strange way, it would have been
Yes.
better. Like, it would have made more sense. Like, why is this guy straddling a trash can? But if I was teabagging, last night's chicken, then that makes more sense.
I think if anybody knows you and people saw that you win that award, they already knew you. Anything's possible. So I don't think they put a lot of thought into it. Like, oh, it should have been this or should have been that. Oh, just Justin doing something wacky and crazy again.
No, I'm just being critical of my own
Wackiness.
In retro, I did that wrong.
I could have ratcheted up the wackiness here. I don't know what I was thinking.
Right.
Well, that's what I appreciate about you. You're always looking to ratchet up the wackiness.
Yeah. Let's ratchet up the wackiness.
All right, well,
That's the name of the podcast right there. Ratchet up the wackiness.
Ratchet up the wackiness. He's not here for the malarkey anymore. It's all about ratcheting up the wackiness.
We're gonna ratchet up the wackiness. Jesus Christ. All right, well, let's do it, and we'll get somebody to design one of those t-shirt where it's just our faces, where it's just your beard.
Oh, have you seen the Court Cousins logo? It's coming.
Oh God, really?
If you go to the YouTube on the very top, there's already a cartoon of me and Kyle's faces that his friends made. He made our logo. And Kyle has that yet, but he hasn't shared it with me, so I can't put it on. I haven't put it on Facebook and all that stuff yet, but it does exist. He's got a buddy.
You know what? I typed in Court C and Court Cousins came up, and then Court Cousins Orlando Magic came up right after that. So he's done some real SEO here.
Yeah, he's been trying to hit a lot of the stuff. There's certain stuff we both do, but he does the Twitter.
Also, Paternity Court came up.
Yeah, when you Google Court Cousins, weird stuff.
Wow, look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, right. It's good.
He designed that?
No, he told a friend we were looking
Yeah.
for cartoon pictures of our heads and then the logo idea. And
His hair is perfect.
yeah, his hair is awesome.
His hair is on fucking point.
The original draft, our ears looked really wide and I looked like a monkey. So I just had him pin them in a little bit. Now it's a little better.
See, it's hard to get your whole beard construction because it's kind of cut off.
Yeah.
Like the banner on top here, and I can't click it and expand it.
Yeah, there's a full size one that you'll see later that has more beard.
You're gonna have to, please let me know.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I'd
seen the Court Cousins, like the magic stylized.
Yeah,
and that's cool. That's a good logo.
Cool. Yeah. I kind of waited to make our Facebook page until we had that, because up until then it was just random pictures and stuff. So he's doing like the Discord, which I don't even know what that is, and the what's the Reddit and the Twitter, and then I do the Instagram, TikTok, and the Facebook page. So split up the duties well. It makes it a lot easier.
Split up the duties.
Woo! You could have let that one go, but not for a man who ratchets up.
What are we ratcheting up? The malarkey? No.
What
was it? The wackiness. Yeah.
Wackiness. Yeah.
We'll have to go back and watch this to figure out what we said.
We usually don't get to do that. There's so many times where we're talking and I'm like,
can you blur out where it says my name down there?
Devil's Bowl Speedway.
Yeah, probably shouldn't be using this account.
Yeah, we'll put something over that. I'll probably grab like your
put a banner or something.
I'll grab your logo of your show or something like that. And I'll put that over it, or I'll have it like underneath you the whole time or something like that. Yeah, I'll cover it up.
I always change the thing on there because I have my own account, but I'm logged in on this computer. So it comes automatically because we had a Facebook show that we would do over Zoom,
right,
where we interview guests and stuff, and from the Devil's Bowl account. But this computer is just automatically logged in, so I gotta fix that.
Yeah, mine only says Jason Pichet because I've used it for some official meetings. Sometimes I would write the Piche or whatever it is, but yeah, just
that bitch.
Okay,
so are your Boston friends aware of all your nicknames? Or
Or
are you just pro ice guy?
Not really. Most people at work call me Jason. There's a few people that call me Piche because they've kind of learned they've seen it enough that they will call me Piche. But for the most part, people call me Jason. Yeah, it's sewed on my coat, so people see it all the time, and it's just
Boffo.
I'm Jason. Yep.
Yeah. No, we gotta fix that.
I know. Yeah, people don't know the legend of the Piche, even though it's right there on that license plate. But
there it is.
Yep.
The fucking Piche.
Thepich.
That had to have been a Jay thing, right? Was Jay the first one to say Thepich?
Probably.
Had to have been.
Yeah, probably.
If he didn't, I was. Like, it's natural.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have got there at some point.
Yeah. That's good.
Mm-hmm. It's no Enfuego, but it's all right.
Ooh, I remember that one too.
Did I know you when I had that one?
Yeah, I remember that one. Yep.
That's right. I had a vanity plate that said Enfuego, people. Deal with it.
That's Spanish for in fuego.
There wasn't enough pointing in this episode. So I'm trying to let's get some out. Because we made a lot of great points.
You know, when I'm really pissed off, I do this. I point with my hand backwards.
Oh.
Like right up your nose, you know.
Almost like the evil closet monkey, but like up at the sky. Like,
oh yes. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I used to shake my fist in traffic when like someone would make me mad. I'd be like, you know, if you throw a finger, that's bad. But if you shake the fist, it's old school.
No, that feels like you mean it. Oh, I really made that guy mad. You feel bad if you get a finger. Yeah. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, whatever. But like if you know, he's like, oh shit,
yeah,
guy's coming after me. He's primed. Yeah,
I'm Optimus primed.
Oh wow, yeah. All right, man. Well, listen, I got to go help my wife.
Indeed,
drown my daughter in the bathtub and then bury the body out back. So, listen, winter is coming and the ground's going to freeze soon, so we have to do it now.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah,
it's dark right now, so yeah,
perfect.
Yeah,
and there's no record of this happening.
Not at all. Oh shit. Yeah.
Ooh. I'll choke out the tiny cock and then he won't talk.
Huh? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that guy.
You thought I meant something else?
I was like, huh. So that's your thing, huh?
Yeah.
Guy kills his infant daughter and
don't make it weird.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, so there it was, me and Justin St. Louis, 2 parts, over 2 hours of good fun, shooting the shit, one of my best buds. Good luck to him and everything else he's doing going forward. Listen to the show, Uncommon Deeds. I have a feeling he'll be back in racing for more than that podcast at some point down the line, but a chance for him to take a little pit stop, if you will, and reset and see what's going on. That's it for the show today. No extra bonus stuff today because it was such a long 2-part episode. But if you're interested in seeing me in action at work, you can check out ESPN Plus's coverage of the PHF. That's right, the Premier Hockey Federation, formerly known as the NWHL, the Women's Hockey League. The Boston Pride are playing some home games this weekend. I'll be there driving the machine. So if you're not too busy watching basketball or football or something like that on Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, check out the Pride games from Warrior Ice Arena. That's it for the Pichcast this week. We've got some good guests coming up. Everybody enjoy your holidays out there. Get your tree up safely, and or pull out your candles for Hanukkah or all the other things. I don't have to be all inclusive. It's my podcast. Sorry, I don't think of all the holidays. My bad. Anyway, I'm going to be safe because I'm not on the left or the right. I'm down the center, as we just learned. Yeah. Pichcast. Episode 5. What more do you want?